We got 45 anonymous confessions. I broke up 2 of my friends because they both became huge jerks. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Assholes don't deserve love. That's my feelings for that one. I'm unvaccinated and vaccinated and have a low body count. I feel like I'm dumb for this, but I kind of want an unvaxxed girly too. Is that dumb? I don't know. Maybe I'm falling to propaganda or creating division between people. LOL. Does this matter to you? Also, body count doesn't matter to me. Does it matter to you? I'm gonna be honest. The vax, I don't really care. I really don't. The body count also doesn't matter to me. I don't know how, I don't really understand how low body count and vaccinations are correlated, but I'll answer both. For me, would like someone who has a lower body count, as I have a lower body count, and I feel like it is like we'd be on the same level of how we appreciate sex. But I'm also would never say like no if someone had a higher body count than me. I think that means more to men than it does to women. But I don't know. Also, I'm generalizing when I say that, so I'm really not sure. Also, I really don't care if someone's vaccinated or unvaccinated. That's a personal choice. Sometimes I'll steal small items from work, like claw clips that we sell, or I'll take home some minis that we have an abundance of. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't see anything wrong from stealing from big, huge corporate chains. I've never done it. But if it's a big, I would never support someone stealing from like a small fucking mom and pop shop. That's a different story. But if it's like you're getting paid a minimum wage at a huge fucking corporation, get that fucking claw clip, put it in your purse, steal some fucking makeup, you'll be fine. I had to cut off my best friend of 12 years because she was making some terrible life decisions that I couldn't be a part of anymore. And I hate to admit that my life is so much easier and peaceful since. And she was the one I went to with girl talk and all my problems, and now I don't have that. Despite everything she's done to me, I really miss my best friend. My family and some of other close friends are glad that I finally did it, but I'm not that close with anyone, so it's been really hard and I've been feeling really alone. But living in streams has been helping me feel less lonely, so thank you for building a community that does that. First of all, you're gonna make me cry. That's the sweetest thing ever. Second of all, friendship breakups are sometimes harder than actual breakups, and I truly, 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 truly believe that. It's also hard when someone hasn't necessarily done something wrong, but just like their decisions are making it so that you can't be around them anymore. I want you to know genuinely this is very parasocial, but you are always welcome to reach out to me. I definitely struggle when it comes to making friends. I know this doesn't say how old you are, but it's hard to make friends in your 20s when you're no longer in high school and doing things like that. So I'm sorry that you're going through that. But yeah, I broke up with my first girlfriend a week after a week because I liked another girl who ended up not liking me. This was back in middle school. Okay, this is middle school. I was gonna say this is like fucking like older girl, but it's middle school. I mean, girl, I was in love with my girl best friend and had a boyfriend in middle school. Girl, you're fine. I have severe anxiety and depression ever since my parents and my dog died. I started streaming to give myself some confidence, but it's so hard when nobody watches. And I've tried to post on different social platforms and my videos just don't get enough traction, and it just hurts to feel so alone and isolated. Yeah, one thing that people don't talk about a lot when it comes to like the streaming space and things like that is like it is very lonely when you're first starting out. It definitely is. All it takes though is a singular video to blow up of yours. Like it literally takes one video. And so that I hope gives you some hope in the sense that if you keep sticking to it, eventually something's gonna stick. I think it is also about consistency, but I also know when you're anxious and depressed, it's really hard to be consistent. So my best advice for you is be patient with yourself. Don't feel like you're falling behind just because your videos aren't doing as good as you'd like them to be doing at the current moment. And there's no timeline that you need to be following. I worry I'll never be enough, not for myself or anyone else. Falling short seems to be the only consistent thing I got going for me. First of all, you are comparing yourself here to like an unattainable standard. You are always enough, and if you feel like you're not enough, you are being too hard on yourself. You can't compare yourself to where somebody else is in life. I'm very guilty of doing that. But I think it's very important you don't, because that will always steal your joy. It always will. If you feel like you're not enough for yourself or anyone else, like you need to find something that's going to fulfill you and make you feel like you're enough. Unfortunately, what's that quote? That's like, no one's coming to save you. I think that's very important. I know it sounds harsh, but that has changed my life in a lot of ways because I feel like when you think about it, if you're not like enough for yourself, you're never going to be enough for anybody else. Like you need to feel fulfilled before you can fulfill someone else, if that makes sense. For context, my mother got me a really expensive pair of earrings as a gift. During my first few days of school, I wore really expensive earrings to school. I went to gym before school, had class, and then volleyball. At some point, I think in volleyball, I lost those very expensive earrings. When my mom asked me about them, I lied and said they were in my room safe, but in reality, I was using all my saved up hidden cash to buy a new pair. It was a huge lying scheme. The store didn't take cash usually, so I lied and said that they were a gift for my mother for her birthday so they would let me pay fully in cash. I felt so bad. The staff started praising me so much about how nice of a kid I was. Next time my mom asked me about them, I showed her them and she was happy I was loving / taking care of them. Later on that year, we were going back to the bank to put all my cash into an account, and my mom was so worried since all my cash was gone. And then I had to lie and say I used it to go on trips instead of saving it. To this day, she has no idea that I lost the earrings she got me. They were $1,400. My mom just said in the other room, you guys can't hear her, but you said that you are the best child on earth for going through all of that to not hurt your mom's feeling. I'm 20 and I haven't seen my dad since I was 4 years old. I am married, but last week I got extremely sick. I unfortunately had to ask my dad for money. I need an x-ray and some prescriptions. He agreed to send me money. He only sent me $100. I haven't told anyone about it because I'm embarrassed to say that even married, I needed some help from my useless dad. You should not be embarrassed about that. At the end of the day, the person who should be embarrassed is your father for not being there for you when you are clearly going through something. I hope you harbor no embarrassment about this. If you take one thing away from this, you should harbor no embarrassment whatsoever, because the only person who should be embarrassed in this is that you have a biological father who is alive and has not spoken to you since you were 4 years old. That is crazy. That is a deadbeat behavior. And I genuinely hope you are forgiving yourself for asking. At the end of the day, you need to put yourself first, and I'm glad you did. When my family pissed me off as a child, I would either put salt on their toothbrush or dip them in the toilet. That's kind of fucking hilarious. And honestly, I do wish I had thought of that. I honestly do.
My wife and I have been married for 2 years, together for 5. She's my ride or die and the rock of my life. I've grown to greatly resent my mom and younger sister because they don't show her respect that she deserves. They don't dislike my wife, but I think that they still, to this day, like my ex more because of their interests and ways of living in general.
Damn.
My ex cheated on me multiple times. Terrible. So I have a hard time of respecting my family who would choose to associate with that type of person when they're aware that it happened. When I see them, things are okay and friendly, but I can get off very standoffish and have extremely short fuse because of my feelings. I'd never choose anyone, even blood relatives, over my wife. I love that, but I don't want to be so off-putting to my mom and sister. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know what your name is.
Yeah, it's anonymous. It's anonymous.
Good for you. Your wife deserves your respect. She's a good woman. The other person cheated on you. You should never, ever allow yourself to be treated poorly by another woman.
Period.
Your mom
Everyone's
is
agreeing with
always
you.
going to be your mom. She will always love you. Treat her with respect. It's okay to be off-putting. You might want to put up some boundaries with them. Be honest and say, listen, I don't like that. This is who I'm married to. But I got to tell you, you are a good person. And I have a lot of respect for you, little fella.
Period.
Woman.
Period. Sometimes I feel like I'm missing something, that something's wrong with me because I've never had a serious relationship in all my 20 years of life, and I'm worried that I've set my standards for a partner too high for someone with my looks can obtain, but I've built such a no bullshit attitude I won't lower them either. Good for you. You shouldn't lower them. You shouldn't lower them. You are only 20, first of all. You're 20 years old. That's not that old. I feel like everyone thinks once you hit the hit 20s, you should be doing like a million things. And no, you're 20. You are so fucking fine. Your 20s are for figuring stuff like this out. You are so good. Please do not lower your standards. If you take one thing, do not lower your standards. My dad cheated on my mom and hasn't been around since I was 4. I've known throughout my life, and it's never really bothered me that my dad was never around. I always felt bad for my mom since she's Catholic and she was never wanting a divorce. When I was around 9 around the time of the divorce, I would use my mom's phone and read emails / texts that my dad would send her because I knew my mom wouldn't tell me how she was feeling. At one point, I went on a family trip with my mom's side of the family. I saw a text from my dad telling my mom, sign the divorce papers, hurry up. KYS. This is a very summarized, it was a huge paragraph. I deleted the message before my mom could see it. Later in the future, when I was an older teen, I told my mom and comforted her through her grief. As a 21-year-old now, we're all okay with each other. My mom and dad have talked it out and fixed everything, but my dad doesn't know that I was the one that read the text message, and that's why he's never gotten a response to that day. I still love him because he's my dad, but I've never truly forgiven him. That's hard. That's hard. That's a lot. I think that you did the right thing, 100%, but I'm also sorry that as a 9-year-old you had to read your father saying that to your mom. Like that's huge. I don't think a 9-year-old should ever be responsible for the weight of things that are going on in your parents' marriages. So I'm sorry that you had to deal with that, but I do think you dealt with it right. And don't pressure yourself into forgiving your dad. At the end of the day, you have every right to be angry, and you're not a bad person for being angry at your father at all. It's really heavy, but I do hope that you get to a point where you can forgive yourself for all of this happening because you didn't do anything wrong. In my 30s, done with shitty guys, I've been working on bettering myself, like my confidence. It's actually been nice and just working on me. My mental and physical have been getting better. Still hoping one day to find my other half, to have my own family, and I know it will come. It will definitely come for you. And I don't know you, but I'm so fucking proud of you for taking care of yourself and doing that. That's huge. You will definitely find somebody. Last year, I broke up with my boyfriend because I wasn't in a good place and was not treating him good, but I want him back. I think I've gotten better. We haven't talked since, but he has gone up to my mom to talk about her and giving her a ceramic pot. She said that he looked around like he was going to see if I was there, but he was scared. I dated a mutual friend for like a week, and I don't know if he knows about that. I'm low-key kind of scared to talk to him. I mean, the only thing you can do is talk to him. That's the only thing you can do. Like, you can sit here and you can think, oh, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? At the end of the day, you just gotta ask. That's my best advice. And go from there. I'm 25 and already feeling shit about life. I finished college and I'm currently work remotely and don't go out much. Haven't had a girlfriend in 3 years. Emotionally down, very addicted to porn, and can't get out of that shit out of my routine for more than a year now. Not happy where I'm at. I'm not seeing my next steps. I'm a bit overweight and seems to be one of the reasons causing me not be able to get into a relationship since I don't appreciate myself. Why would anyone else appreciate me? Call 988 in America to help with mental health. There you go. You're 25. Honestly, this is the peak of your life right now. You are able to change it however you want. You are able to change your life. Now is the time for you to be able to do it. If you don't like the way you look, work on that. If you are addicted to something, try your best to, your peak comes when you start living. Try your best. Just take baby steps. At the end of the day, even if you're just doing one different thing a day to help you, you're going to feel better than doing nothing a day. That's my best advice. I'm a senior and people keep asking me what colleges I'm going to apply to, but I think I'm going to go to a community college. I did think that for a while that I wanted to go to an actual college or uni, but I haven't been doing anything to apply. I haven't been doing anything to apply to any. But I think I've thought it through, and for my mental and physical health to stay at home a little while longer. I just feel so guilty for not applying to any. I don't think you should feel guilty at all. At the end of the day, like I said, there's a common theme here. I truly, truly believe that everybody goes at their own pace, and what you need might not be what somebody else needs, and you shouldn't feel guilty about that. So I've been friends with my first guy friend for over 2 years. We met when we were 17. We're both 20 now, and it was online. He ghosted me for 8 months after we met, and then, okay, Mikey's here to answer some questions too. Is saying he was in a really bad toxic relationship. I've liked him ever since we met and never told him, and decided to tell him 7 months after we started talking again because he said that he liked me and wished I told him sooner because he doesn't have much time to date because of college. Skip to now, we took a break from talking because it was so hard to talk to him without acting like he's my boyfriend. I feel so weird because it's long distance and we've been trying. It's been a year and a month since I've confessed to him and nothing's happened. What do I do? He's low-key my ideal type and my best friend. Here's the thing. I know this is probably not what you want to hear, but if someone's not going to make time for you, and if it's not the most important thing that he takes that relationship seriously, he's probably not the person for you. Honestly, you might be better off, moving on to somebody else. And then if it's meant to be, you guys will find their way back to each other. I felt very sheltered during elementary school, so I don't have the same experience with people that the rest of my family does. Learning about everything that everyone has done makes me feel so bad because I thought of them one way and it turns out they were very different. I don't know if I resent my family for this, but I know that it feels bad having to form opinions about people without fully knowing them. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who've come from very sheltered childhoods, and they they do find like a lot of resentment in their family for not showing them, what happens in the real world afterwards. So, I mean, the only thing you can do is kind of move past it. Like, that's it. Because you have to understand they probably were doing it for the best? I think that's all of them, chat. I think that's all of them. I think we did a nice little therapy session. I've been telling y'all that I wanted to start doing like a little bit more variety. So I'm glad that we were actually able to do that today. But yeah, chat, that was some anonymous confessions. It was super fun.